Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to get my thoughts on Xander Zayas and his fight with Quincy Lavallais. This is a fight that I was very excited about this fight because I'm very familiar with both. You know, Xander Zayas, while yes, he is Puerto Rican, he trains in my area. He is a product of the South Florida boxing community, so I'm very familiar with Xander. And I'm also very familiar with Quincy Lavallais because I've seen him fight in person. I've met him. I've been following him pretty closely over the last 2 years or so. So, I was very excited for this one because I felt like, you know what, this had a chance to be Xander's best fight, toughest test to date, if Quincy put it together. And I think on this night, and I'm gonna talk about both fighters and give my honest thoughts because that's what we do here on True School Sports. But we'll start with Xander Zayas. Now, Xander Zayas is getting talked up as the best, not just the best Puerto Rican prospect, but some people are saying that he's the best prospect in boxing, point blank, period. And I gotta say, fights like this, I'll be honest, Xander Zayas, he looks, at 19 years old, he looks like the most polished prospect in the sport right now. Let's start with the performance. You know, this fight, it was a really good test for him because Quincy Lavallais is a good fighter who has a lot of experience in the little amount of fights he has. He's been very experienced. He's fought good fighters such as Clay Collard, Megborn Sanagov, good guys. And you know, he doesn't have a lot of amateur background, but you know, Quincy Lavallais is very much what they would call, what the old timers would call a cutie. Very slick, very crafty, knows how to use the ring, knows how to roll punches, knows how to counter punch. And if you're the kind of fighter that doesn't throw high volume punches, he's the kind of guy that can make you look silly. We've seen it with Clay Collard. We've seen it in parts of the Megborn Sanagov fight. So I thought this fight was going to be good for Xander because of what Quincy brings to the table. It's a style that he hasn't really fought in the professional ranks yet. What we got in this fight was a one-sided fight, pretty much. Xander Zayas on the front foot, using a great power jab, even showing you a little bit of his own offensive craft. Sometimes he would jab and then he would kind of step to the side and create new angles. He kept doing that a lot in this fight. He showed volume punching, he showed pivots, he showed craftiness, he showed body punching, he showed power punching, he showed boxing ability. He showed a lot in this fight. And I think it was round 2. Quincy got pretty much hit with an onslaught. I mean, he was on the ropes. Xander, a more cautious referee would have waved the fight off in the second round because Quincy was on the ropes in that high guard, taking a lot of shots to the head, a lot of shots to the body. I thought the referee was going to wave it off at any point. And, very luckily for Quincy, the referee did not wave it off and he was able to continue to fight. And, just a really good performance from Xander Zayas. The kind of performance that, knowing I've seen Quincy fight, I know what kind of fighter he is. I know he's not like Quincy Lavallais isn't an A-class fighter, but he's definitely the kind of fighter that if you slip up, if you have an off night, if you take him for granted, he can make you look silly, as he's done with fighters in the past, and make fights close, like he's done with fighters in the past. And Xander showed tonight, or not tonight, but in that fight this past weekend, that he's not only is he a true professional, not only is he a talented fighter, but that he might just well be one of the most polished fighters in the world because he showed you different dimensions on the night, from his boxing ability to his ability to slug to his ability to change angles. And I was just really impressed by him because, it was a style he hasn't dealt with. Now, from the Quincy side of things, I got to talk about Quincy. He's a friend of the program. I love Quincy. I support Quincy. I'll continue to support Quincy. I'll continue to cover his fights here on True School Sports because he's a true fighter. He'll fight anybody. But I really feel like Quincy Lavallais, he gets credit for being tough. I mean, he took a lot of shots, and being a fighter isn't just about when you're winning and when things are when things are going your way. It's also about how you behave when things aren't going your way. And sometimes as a fighter, you're gonna have those nights where you got to take a beating because a lot of fighters can dish it, but they can't take it. And Quincy could take it, and I give him credit for taking it. But I leave very disappointed because I feel like Quincy, in this fight, towards the early parts of this fight, when he got hit with that onslaught in the second round, I felt like he made the conscious decision to say, you know what, I'm just going to be crafty this whole fight, and I'm not going to try to live up to the words that I had in the post-fight, in the pre-fight build-up, when he was saying that he was going to beat Xander. Xander's not a real 154-pounder. I didn't really see a Quincy that was imposing himself. And what was crazy was, after some of these rounds, like when Quincy got hit by the onslaught, I see him like touching gloves with Xander, smiling. I'm like, man, bro, this is a big opportunity, and I just don't think that you're approaching with the right mindset. So I'm very disappointed with Quincy's performance. I didn't think Quincy was going to win the fight, to be honest with you. I picked Xander to win the fight, but I did expect a better Quincy Lavallais, and I was hoping that this would be a closer fight than it was. But to his credit, he showed his durability. He's the first guy to take Xander Zayas 8 rounds in the professional ranks, so he gets some credit for that. But, I know from watching him fight, I know that there's a better Quincy Lavallais than I saw. In the 8th round of that fight, the last round of the fight, he finally decided to kind of step to Xander, and he was throwing these little shoe shine combinations to the body, and they were landing, and they had some snap on them. So, like there was something in Quincy in that fight. He just didn't fight. He didn't want to fight in the middle rounds and the early rounds of the fight, and it really was disappointing. So, I'm hoping he can come back better, but that's now, 3 losses in his last 4 fights, two losses in a row for Quincy. One of which, I thought he beat Mekbour and Senegal, but on paper it's a loss, and most people weren't there to see the fight, so they're going to look at that as a loss. But, lost to Senegal, lost to the dude in Nicaragua, and now lose to Xander. So, if I'm Quincy, man, got to get back in the win column soon, because with them 3 losses, you're already the B-side. You're already a guy that doesn't have the luxury of having the big promoter and the big amateur background. So you're going to be used as an opponent. But if I'm Quincy, I want to see him get it back in the win column. If I'm him, Felix Malispin and Chase Dixon and the fine folks there, I'm looking to get Quincy back on the local shows in New Orleans and just work on some things. Work on being a bit more front foot oriented, because he's got that down. Quincy's 28. He's got that down. He's very, crafty, and he knows how to roll shots, but he just doesn't. He's not coming to fight enough. He's got the toughness. He's got the things you need to be a good fighter, and I still think he can develop, but they got to be very careful how they move him, because he's losing a lot of fights. He took a lot of punishment in that fight. Go back to the drawing board, come back better. But it's about Xander Zayas, one of the best prospects in boxing, one of the best fighters in the sport, young fighters in the sport, I should say. And, look, a lot of people are talking about Berlanga and other Puerto Rican fighters. To me, look, Xander Zayas is the guy. He is the guy that I think will finally take the place of Miguel Cotto as that next Puerto Rican superstar on pay-per-view. He'll be the guy fighting in the Garden. He'll be the guy in the important fights. And my good friend Damon Gonzalez, shout out to him. He made a video here in an interview we did last month, where he was saying that the next big fight in boxing is going to be the next big super fight years from now, like 3, 4, 5 years now, is going to be Xander Zayas versus Evan Holyfield at the Madison Square Garden. And you know what? I'm kind of looking at both these guys a bit closer. I already followed them close, but I'm looking at them closer now since he said that. And I think that could be a fight down the road. And I think it'd be a great fight. But let me know what you guys think, man. Xander Zayas goes in there, puts on a thorough performance, outclassing the very crafty, very slick, and very formidable Quincy Lavallais, and pretty much treated him like be honest with you, he treated him like a sparring partner. And he showed his level in the sport. And at 19 years old, he's already at a level that most 19-year-olds will never ever achieve in their life in boxing. And I'm looking at Xander Zayas. By the time he's 25, I think this kid will be a multiple division champion. He had a lot of hype when he was young, before he turned pro in the South Florida area. We have high hopes for Xander in South Florida. And we know Tiafimo was a guy from South Florida recently that was world champion and made some noise in the pros. And I'm looking at Xander as that next one. And we got some people behind him, we got Aaron Aponte and Lawrence Newton, Dominique Francis. We got Steve Gaffard, who's still in the mix. We got just a lot of good fighters. And I'm looking at Xander as one of the guys leading the way. Lorenzo Medina, Lazaro Medina, Eric Tudor, Sasha Tudor. So that's what it is, man. But you guys let me know what you think. Shout out to my guy, Leo. Hi. Leo, say what's up. Say what's up, Leo. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thanks for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.